come up. Okay, so let's come to find your seat. I'm just going to put a different light on. Don't like this light's too bright. And we'll settle in. There we go. And come to get a felt sense of you this evening. So you can just come to find that connection down to the earth. Come to sense that central place of you, your spine. And just let the shoulders soften down the back. Let the chest rise, let the jaw soften. And then let's just make a few circular movements, just going in the one way, just like your spine is stirring that cauldron or pot of your belly. And just a gentle circling round. If it's comfortable to keep the eyes closed, just keeping eyes closed. And then slowly just let those movements become a bit smaller. So that circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller and even smaller, until from the outside it would look like you're perhaps not even moving, but maybe you can still sense that slight circular movement at the spine internally. And then just allow that to stop, and just finding that real central column of you. Your tail like an anchor, the crown of the head just up to the sky. And then just settling into your breath here and starting to get that felt sense of you this evening. Feeling the grounding from pelvis down. Feeling the sense of lift through the upper body. And just noticing if something's a little bit more in your awareness this evening. Maybe there's a muscle, a joint, an area of your body. Perhaps somewhere feels really tight. Perhaps somewhere is a little bit more aware because of pain or discomfort. And just let the breath meet that place. Let the breath soften it, encourage it to release its grip. Maybe you need a bit of support to that space, so just adjusting as you need to. And then a breath into a part of your body that perhaps is less easy to connect to, less in your awareness. And just let the breath meet that part under it and around it. And then starting to sense the diaphragm just around the lower ribs. So as you take an inhale, a sense of that flattening, expanding. And as you exhale, a sense of it just doming back up towards the heart space. And just a couple of breaths with your mind in this sense of the diaphragm expanding and contracting, this jellyfish-like movement. And then let your hands just find your heart space and just take a moment there, just tuning into your energy this evening and taking a moment just to sense how you feel, and then taking a breath of an energy perhaps you want a little more of, and just filling up your center with that sense of that energy. Then just letting the eyes flicker open, let your hands come to that. Okay, so we're going to start off on our seat. So just finding your right leg in front of your left leg and finding that simple cross-legged. So feet underneath ankles, and then walk your hands down in front. So maybe you don't go that far, but just sensing into that sense of the width of your hips, the back of your spine. Close your eyes and just take a wide breath into that back space of you. And an ocean-like breath out the mouth. So a sigh out the mouth, inhaling into the backside of you. And exhale out the mouth, ocean-like sigh. And just one more, inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. And then inhaling, coming up, just walk your hands back up. And exhale, take a turn to the left side, bringing your right hand to the knee, the other hand behind you. Take an inhale and find that space. And exhale, just softly turn. Just finding that sense of the heart space, the lower back. Taking a wide, spacious breath there. And then inhale, come back through center. Exhale and take the right hand down and reach that left arm up. Just take a nice side bend there, just reaching through that side body and just meet the breath there, just feeling into that side of you, the breath. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, crossing the other leg in front, just making sure the ankles are roughly under your knees so they're not pulled really close in. And then folding forwards here. And just take the breath deep into your hips, into your sit bones. Let the breath meet the back of your spine. Exhale from the mouth. Inhale, feeling that space of you. Exhale, just softening into that space. Maybe the head drops a bit more, release tension from the neck. And then inhale, walk it back up. And exhaling, take a turn to the other side, left hand in front, and just finding that sense of your center there, just turning around that central column, shoulders softening, jaw softening. And then inhale, come back through center. And exhale, left hand down, right arm rising. Take a big breath there, softening lower shoulder. And just find that sense of you there, shoulders soft, jaw soft. Then inhale, come back up. And exhale, just release. Taking the right leg out to the side, have the left leg in front, just in your pelvis space. So just having that leg off wherever's comfortable for you. And then just let yourself fold down that midline of your hips. So you'll start to meet a bit more the inner leg. And just take a couple of breaths through there, just feeling into that inner seam of the straight leg. Feeling the weight in your sit bones, keeping it as equal as you can. And just taking that wide breath there. One more. And then inhale, come back up. And exhale, turn to the bent knee. And just very softly walk those right fingers a little further forwards. And just meet a little side bend there. Mindful through the lower back. Not a deep side bend, just meeting a bit more that leg, that side body. And then inhale, come back up. And exhale, change your legs. So bringing the other leg in, the other leg out. And just finding that forward fold there. So just meeting those inner seams of you. And really just let the breath drop out your mouth. Take that big exhale out the mouth. Let it just soften and drop. Deep, wide breath. And then inhale, coming up. Exhale, turn towards the bent knee and just find that little forward fold, sort of side forward fold there. So just walking those left fingers away from that outstretched leg and just sense your breath. And then inhale, come back up. And exhale, release. Bring that leg in. And then come over to your all fours, however you're going to get there. And just come up to meet your down dog. So that nice familiar shape, just starting to just ease out into your legs. So we're just going to let the body unravel tonight. And then find a few restorative poses at the end. So just meeting down dog. Feel that sense of the hips rising. Walk through your feet. Nod your head, shake your head, just ease in. Just allowing the knees to release and soften. And then we're going to come down onto all fours and come to find the belly. So we're going to come to just a little shoulder stretch. So bringing your arms out so that the elbows are a little bit higher than your shoulders. And then you're going to bring your right elbow just a little higher than the shoulder, the hand presses to the floor, and that right shoulder rolls down towards the mat. You come onto the left fingertips and you start to roll to that right side. So maybe the leg stays just behind you with the foot to the floor, knee to the ceiling. Maybe it comes onto the top leg, maybe it doesn't roll quite as far up. Mindful of that shoulder. and the head wherever's comfortable. So keep that right shoulder towards the mat and just breathe through the front of that pec into that side of the arm. Just take a couple of breaths there. And then inhale, come back through center. And exhale, come to find the other side. So the left arm, forearm is on the mat, elbow just a bit higher than shoulder. The left shoulder just drops down to the mat. And you're on right fingertips. Then you roll to that left side. And you just meet the front of the chest, the front of that shoulder. Take a few wide breaths into that space, just being aware maybe one side's a bit tighter than the other. And then inhale, come back through. Exhale, come up to all fours, and then come back to your child's pose. Just bring your knees wide and stretch back into child's, again on your fingertips. And take a big breath down the back of your spine, from the crown to the tail. Wide, spacious breath there. Soften the jaw. Feel the width of you. Feel the belly soften. And then plant your hands and come back up to your down dog. And just finding down dog, take a breath back at down dog. Press the hands down. Feel the back of your forearms lift slightly, so there's a bit of weight in the finger pads. And then just stay with bent knees, or bring your balls of your feet to the mat with the heels up, the bottom up. And then just walking the hands back towards the feet, come to find a forward fold at the back of the mat. So take an inhale, lift your heart forwards. Exhale, fold to the forward fold, bend the knees as you need. And then just hold it here, hold your elbows and just sway a little in the forward fold, like you're painting a rainbow around the front of your feet. Just taking a couple of breaths there, meeting that lower back into your hamstrings, into that attachment at the sit bones. And then let the hands come down, and we're going to plant the right hand maybe on a block and bring the left hand to your back. Bend your right knee, take an inhale, heart lifts, and exhale, start to turn, bringing that left shoulder up. Maybe the hand stays on the back, or maybe the arm reaches to the sky. And just find that space of you there across the collarbones. Feel the weight planted in that left foot. Then exhale, bend the left knee, hand comes down, right hand to back. Inhale, lift your heart again in line with your spine. Bend your left knee, right shoulder starts to turn, planting well through the right foot, right arm lifts. Take a big breath there. Inhale fully and exhale deeply. Then plant that right hand, and then finding your way up, bend your knees and rolling up, tail in, start to roll your way up through standing, and just roll out your shoulders there. And then just feel the feet down on the mat, and just find your standing. From here, just a half sun salute. So inhale, reach up, look to your thumbs. Exhale, fold from the hips, forward fold, bend the knees as you need. Take an inhale, reach your heart space long. Exhale, fold back in, chin in, just look back between the legs. Inhale, reaching wide, press down, coming up. Exhale, hands through heart space. And again, just inhale, reach up, just getting a nice rhythm of breath. Exhale, fold from your hips, forward fold. Inhale, let your heart space rise and lengthen. Exhale, fold back in, chin in. And then inhaling, press down, reach wide, coming up. And exhale, hands to heart space. So on the next one, we're going to walk it back out to down dog. So inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding in, forward fold. Inhale, let your heart space rise. Exhale, fold back in, chin in. And then bend the knees, look down, walk your hands out, just moving the block to the side, and find your down dog from the back of the mat. Take a breath there, press your bottom high, and just nod the head a couple of times, shake the head a couple of times. And then come down to the knees if you need. Otherwise, inhale, reach the right leg high. And exhale, step the right foot up between the hands. Come onto the back knee. And we're going to come up to that low lunge. So lifting your hips, take an inhale, reach the arms up. And just exhaling there, feel the legs pull towards each other, feel the heart lift. Take a big wide breath. Then exhale, pull the hands to cactus, just finding that space across the heart. Inhale here. And then exhale, hands around behind you, interlock them, press the heel of the hand together, and just feel the heart lift a little, taking an inhale. Exhale, release. Bring your arms out in front of you and cross your left arm over the right. Backs of arms, palms of hands together. Take the elbows forwards, fingers up, and just squeeze the forearms together. Let your arms go a little bit to the left and let your right ear drop a little to the right. And just take a big breath there. And then inhale, bring it back through center. Exhale, release, and bring your hands down to the mat. Bring your left hand down, tuck your left toes, lift the left knee. Reach the right arm up to the sky. Just find that nice open twist there. Take an inhale. And then exhale, make a circle with that arm, just following it with your gaze. So just making a big circle with that arm within your range of motion. And then we'll go back the other way. So just meeting the shoulders, meeting the hips after your day. And then plant the hand and step back, finding your down dog. Take an inhale at down dog. And exhale out the mouth. Meet the echo of that, the right side versus left side. Just feel the width of the right, the space of the right. Feel the left side. And then inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, step the left foot up between the hands and drop the back knee. Rising up to find that low lunge, lifting the hips, finding that space. Press your legs towards each other. And then exhale again, arms to cactus, keeping length in the lower back. Take an inhale. Exhale, interlock the hands, other finger in front. And just press the hands together and lift the heart a little. Take an inhale there. Exhale, release, bring your arms in front, right arm over left, backs of hands together, squeeze the forearms, bring the arms a bit right, drop the left ear a bit left, and just take a breath down the right shoulder. And then inhale, bring it to center. Exhale, release the hands, right hand stays down, right knee lifts, back toes tuck, left arm reaches up. Take an inhale. Then exhale, make a circle in that one direction with the arm, finding your way around. And then taking it round the other way, just easing out any air through the joints, any vata energy. And then plant that hand, and we're going to step up to the front of the mat, bringing your feet hip distance. Take an inhale, let the heart lift, and this time exhale, fold in. Bend your knees if you need to, and bring your hands to the outer sides of your shins. Press your shins to your hands and your hands to your shins, and then stay with bent knees as you need, or start to straighten the legs if you're comfortable, and just let the day drop out your head. Take an inhale into the back of your lower ribs. Exhale, belly drawing back. Inhaling into the back of the lower ribs. Exhale, belly drawing back. And then inhale, bend the knees, find chair pose. Coming to just activate the quads a little, sit deep, feel that work of your legs, heart lifting. Then exhale, hands to heart space, and taking a turn, left elbow towards right knee, but keep it hovering and just pull that right lung back. Feel the rotational core, the abs just working a little. Take an inhale here. Exhale, come back through center. Inhale. And exhale, take that turn to the other side. Just pulling that top lung back, finding that twist, wringing out your day. And then inhale, come back through center, chair pose. Exhale, folding in, forward fold. Let the head drop. Let the hands hold the feet, the big toes, or perhaps take the legs again. Take an inhale, let the heart rise. And exhale, folding in, let the head drop, draw the chin in. Take a wide breath to the lower ribs. And exhale it all out your mouth. And then inhale, bend the knees a little, reach wide, come up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Good. From here, just stepping the right leg back, finding your crescent. Be on the ball of the back foot, bend the back knee a little. Take an inhale and reach up through the arms. Exhale, take the hands behind you and interlock them. And then inhale, let the heart rise. And exhale, just fold forwards. Humble warrior at the end of your day. Press that front heel down. Just feel the space around the shoulders, around the heart. A deep breath. And then inhale, come back up, reach the arms. And exhale, plant the hands, stepping up. Bring your feet hip distance. Take an inhale, let the heart rise. And exhale, fold back in. And then just slide the hands under your feet. Maybe palms facing up, maybe holding the feet again or taking the big toes. And just take a few breaths in that forward fold there. So forward folds at the end of your day, really calming. But the lunge pose is really good for just releasing hips, opening up the heart space if we've been a bit over our desk or in a chair. And then inhale, let the heart rise. Exhale, release. Take an inhale, reach up, come up through standing. And exhale, hands to heart. Step that left leg back, finding crescent here. Take an inhale, reaching the arms. Exhale, bring the hands behind you, other finger in front, interlock them. Take an inhale, feel the heart rising. And exhale, folding it. Just humble warrior for a few breaths here. Keep that front heel down. Take a wide, wide breath. And then inhale, come back up. Reach the arms. And exhale, step back up to the front of the mat. Feet hip distance. Take an inhale there. And exhale deeply. Just step out wide and find your feet hip distance, wider than your hips. Heels out, toes in. Take an inhale. And then exhale, slide the hands down the legs. Take hold of your ankles, the outer legs, or maybe reach for the big toes. Take a big breath to the back of your spine. And then exhale, just fold in. Bend the knees. And then find the connection into your feet by just pressing through the 3 points of your feet. And start to straighten the legs from there if it's comfortable. And just let the head drop that bit more, let the shoulders stay wide, let the elbows go wide, and let the breath just be as wide and spacious as you can into the whole of your rib basket. And then inhale, let the heart rise. Exhale, plant the hands and just walk it round to the front of your mat. And just step it back and find down dog. Taking a breath back at down dog. Nod the head, shake the head. And then if you can come into your pigeon pose, we're going to take pigeon pose next. But maybe for you, you need to come onto your back and take figure 4. So we're going to bring our right knee to the back of the right wrist, foot to the other side of the mat. And then shuffle the back leg back. Maybe you want something underneath that right buttock. You can come forwards from there and just bring your thumbs to your third eye space. So if you're on your back, your right ankle is on your left knee and you're just pressing that right knee away as you draw the left leg towards you. And you just feel that sense of the buttock around the right side, feeling that it's not in the knee. We're still active in pigeon pose in the back leg. And just taking a big breath deep into the kidneys. And starting to let that exhale get a bit longer now. Just starting to really allow that sense of the exhale to be there longer, wider. An ocean-like sound to the breath as the mouth is open on the exhale. And just allowing your mind to meet the sensation of this pose. Last breath here. And then just coming up, plant your hands. Or if you're on your back, stay on your back, knees to the chest. On your hands, just coming up, down dog. And just walk through the feet. Keep it soft, the panoramic gaze, just to keep your eyes nice and soft. Not a hard drishti, just this wide gaze. And then we'll take the other side. So left knee to left wrist, or on your back, left ankle to right knee. Shuffle that back foot back, and then coming down onto your forearms and just bringing your thumbs to that third eye space. And then let the breath meet this side. What's here in this side this evening? So it can be quite different morning to evening. It can be quite different day to day. Often very different side to side. So just being in that seat of the observer and just meeting what's there, just with the breath. No judgment, just let the breath just start to unravel that space. It's longer, deeper exhale. Then gently coming up, plant your hands and slowly come back, finding your down dog. Just stepping back, lifting up the bum, and just give the jaw a little wiggle as you walk through your feet. And then last couple of poses before we come into the restorative. So just step your right foot to the outside of your right hand now. Bring your back knee down to the mat. And then turn the toes of that right foot off the mat and the heel on the mat. Back knee is down, and just be on your hands. You can use your bolster here under your hands if you need to. And then have a sense of pulling the feet towards each other a little. And then just rock into the pelvis. Close the eyes if it's comfortable for you. And just meet that watery sensation of your pelvis. So your second energy center in the spine is said to be this watery center, Svadhisthana. So just getting a sense of that as you just rock through the pelvis. And then just bringing your forearms down, if that's comfortable, maybe to the earth or maybe onto blocks. And just meet that deeper groin stretch. Maybe you feel it in that inner groin. On the front leg, maybe you feel it more on the back leg. Make sure it's a pain, a stretch that's not a pain, that's more just a sensation. So we never want pins and needles or pain in yoga. We want to have this sense of just a softening of our edges. Let the breath just drop out your mouth, deep exhale. And then inhale, slowly come up. And just plant that left hand and reach the right arm back. So same hand reaches back. And then take the back foot if it's there in your reach. If not, just reach that hand back and feel the open space of the chest. Roll the heart round the spine and gently press the foot and hand together. And then exhale, just release. Bring your hands down and step back, finding child's pose. So like you're trying to widen your sit bones back to the wall behind you as you meet child's pose. So really feeling that width through the sit bones as you lower back. And take a big breath into the back of the heart space. And exhale out the mouth. Just drop any tension. Inhale into the lower back. And exhale out the mouth. And then coming up to all fours, finding your all fours. Let's take that left side. So the left foot onto the mat, heel on the mat, toes off, back knee down. And again, just rocking into that pelvis, just meeting that watery feeling of the pelvis and any sensation that might be there this evening in this side. Maybe the head drops, but try not to let it just collapse down. And then bringing your hands down, maybe staying upright if that's better, or maybe coming onto the forearms. And just having a sense of what's there through the inner groins, through the left leg at the front and the right leg at the back. And just let the breath meet it. Try and allow the breath to go wide into the pelvic floor space. Exhale any tension from your mouth again. And then slowly coming up, planting that right hand, reaching the left arm back. Maybe you just stay here and you just breathe across the chest. Maybe that back leg comes up and the foot and the leg meet, and you just meet that back quadricep and you breathe into that space. Then exhale, release, plant your hands, and again, child's pose. So like you're trying to widen again that seat. So rather than just plonking back, really have a sense of trying to widen the sit bones as you go back. And then let the hands be under the head. And take a breath into the heart space again at the back of your body. Exhale anything held from the mouth. Inhale to the width of your ribs. And exhale anything held out. And then coming up on the inhale, come up and find your seat. And just coming over to find a few restorative poses. So you're going to need to grab your bolster and have a blanket nearby if you've got a blanket. Also have a strap to hand if you've got a strap. Okay. So coming in first, you're going to come to find your seat and bring your legs out wide and take a Upavishta Konasana with the support. So you might need to take your blocks underneath the one end of the bolster. Maybe you need a couple of blocks if it's quite a floppy bolster, and you might want something underneath the knees, the outstretched legs. And then just let the heart space, the belly, be held as you fold over the bolster, and just turn the head to one side. And then just let the feet soften. So having a sense now of the inner and outer seams of your legs. And just come to settle in and let the thigh bones become heavy. So starting to allow that sense of the thigh bones to drop and soften. And having a sense of the ground beneath the legs. A sense of the back of the legs just melting. A sense of the support of your front body on the bolster. Just melting into any areas of support. The floor, the bolster. Soften the ear, the side of your face that's on the bolster. Just start to come into that inner world of breath. Start to sense where the breath is in your body. As you feel it coming in through the nose, just trace the breath through that inner landscape. Where does it go? What does it meet? Perhaps it meets spaces that feel tight and tense and gripped. Perhaps it meets spaces that are a bit more in shadow, a bit more difficult to feel into. So just with your mind in that rhythm of breath, coming and going, see what's there. Just let any tension be sighed out the mouth. Just start to feel the skin of your back. Start to sense that skin on your back, that sense of how it feels. Does it feel slack or tight? Can you allow it to just become a little more slack, a little less gripped? Around the base of your skull, around the tops of your shoulders, around the side of your neck, down into the groins, the hamstrings, backs of your legs. And just turning your head the other side for a couple of minutes. Just let the head turn. And again, soften this ear, this side of your face. And just start to notice the front skin of your body. Does that feel any different to the back skin? It can be strange to sense the skin. Maybe it's a really difficult concept to connect to, but just feeling what you feel. Just letting those exhales be releasing and softening. Just sensing either end of your spine, top, the tail. Sensing the spine between those two places. We sense into the vertebral column, the discs, the spine, the muscles around it. What do you feel there? Just a couple more breaths. And then very gently, just pushing yourself back up to find your seat. And just move your bolster off to the side, release your block. And just take your hands underneath your legs, supporting your knees. And just bring the knees in and lean back onto your hands and just windscreen wipe your legs there. So you're just feeling into the body, just let everything soften and release. Good. Okay, and then from here, just coming to find your Supta Baddha Konasana. So bringing your bolster lengthways on your mat. You're going to perhaps take that top end and raise it up a little bit. And then you might want to have your blocks by your hands. And we're going to take a belt, yoga belt, if you've got one. If you haven't, don't worry. But I'll talk you through it if you have. Now, if you have quite a big bolster like I have, you might want to pop a cushion at the one end and maybe even take a blanket so that it softens that drop off at the end of the cushion. So it's less of a deep curve, okay, at the end of your bolster. But see how you go. And then your legs are going to be feet together, knees wide. And maybe we support the legs with blocks or cushions, so we don't want to feel that they're really held there. You might want your blanket to cover you with here, and your eye bag, you can also take that. So this is going to, even though these postures, we're not moving and it seems like there's not much happening, they work really, really deeply. So you're going to make, if you've got a yoga belt, a wide loop of that belt, and you take it over your body and you pop it just at the top of your sacrum. So it's not in the lower back and it's not round the bottom of your bottom. It's just across the back of your pelvis. And then you pop that over underneath your feet. So the belt goes behind you and then under your feet. And then you're sitting with your bottom against the bolster. So don't worry if you haven't got the belt. And then you're going to just pull the belt in and make sure that that belt, so it's as tight, you're in control of it. It can be as tight or loose as you want. And make sure that the buckle of your belt isn't on your skin. Okay. And then perhaps you need a little something at the top end of your bolster. You might find you're going to lie back and you're going to let the head meet the bolster. So this is where you might want just something behind your head just to give it a little lift. So the chin isn't too far back and it's not pushed down into your neck, into your throat. And then you've got the arms wide, and this is where you might need those couple of cushions for your arms. And then a blanket over you, just covering up the front body, and maybe your eye bag over your eyes. And just making sure that you're comfortable and supported. So your restorative poses want to be ones that you can really melt to. And then just let go. Close the eyes and let yourself drop in. And just start to come into this inner landscape again of you. Just starting to sense the body, all the places that are touching the props or the earth. Starting to sense where you're holding and where can soften. And then just allowing the sense of the back body to melt into your bolster. So just sensing the back of your skull. And almost like the brain drops a bit deeper into the back of your skull. The back of your shoulder blades soften into the support behind you. And there's a soft opening across the heart. Just a sense of the back of the heart supported by the bolster. And the front of the heart just softening. Sense of the breastbone, the sternum just softening. The sense of the breath wide into the side of your ribs. Almost like two little balloons in your armpits. And as you take a breath, they just expand softly, those balloons in your armpits. And as you exhale, there's just a sense of that just softening back. The lower arms soft, released. Fingers softly curling to the hands. That space of your heart reaches all the way out to your hands. Everything you do with your hands could be seen as an expression of your heart. It's a wide, abundant space. Often one that we protect without realizing we're doing it. So just feeling the breath across this space. Just noticing how that feels in that space, the breath. Wide to the side ribs. Out through to your fingers. And just sensing that easy rise and fall of your belly. Not controlling anything, but perhaps Perhaps being able to sense the diaphragm, that jellyfish-like movement of your diaphragm just below your ribs. Just letting go of any tension around the hips and the legs. If you've opted not to take blocks to the legs, but now you're sensing it's a bit much, you could bring your hands under the outer legs and make soft fists and just support your legs with your hands. Just start to notice the ends of your breath. We're just here for about another 5 breaths. Start to just notice the end of the inhale, there's a pause. And at the end of the exhale, there's a pause. Without trying to change it, just notice it. Last 2 breaths. And then very gently where you are, just start to bring your hands to the outer legs and just support your legs as you bring them up. And then just bringing your hands beside you, either roll to one side or push yourself up to your seat, however works better for your body. And then you'll have to just take the belt from under your feet and over the back and take it off you. And then just let the legs go out in front and just give your legs a little windscreen like that. Good. And then just a nice counter pose to that before we come into our final restorative pose. You're just going to turn on your mat, keep your bolster as it is, and take a wide knee child's pose. So feet together, knees wide. And then come to just let the body just lie over the bolster, head to one side or head down as you prefer. And just let the body just be held there, just counterposing that back bend, that slight heart opener. And just have a sense of just dropping in and releasing. Just about 5 or so breaths, just to let it all go. Just have a sense of that front body, just nicely supported. Just exhaling any tension out. And then gently just come up, come to find your seat. And let's come to find your legs at the wall pose. So if you don't have a wall, a couch is really good, or a bed. And you're going to take your bolster or whatever you've got, cushion to the wall. And you're going to take a blanket and pop that on the floor. And you might want your, if you have your yoga belt, you might want that again. So if you have a blanket, you're going to take the blanket and take it onto the floor and have your belt nearby. You might also want a blanket for over you. Okay, so your bottom comes onto the bolster and then you're going to come to bring the one shoulder down and then bring your legs up the wall. Okay, so it's a bit awkward getting in. You sort of have to roll your way over and in. And then if you've got your belt, it can be quite nice here. Make sure nothing's in your hair, stopping you touching the floor. But the belt can be really nice just to take around the legs. So you can take the belt around the legs, just about mid-thigh height. And that just sort of holds you in. And then the blanket, you reach for that and you pull the blanket so it comes over the third eye, across your eyebrows, just covering the eyes a little, and you tuck it in round your head. So it kind of retreats you from the world a little bit, and your arms come out. So that bolster is just in the back of your pelvis, and your tail, or the cushion, is just in the back of your pelvis, not in your lower back. And the tail is just sort of almost hanging to the bottom edge of the bolster or the cushion. And then the legs are supported. So finding some way to support yourself here. Legs up the wall pose is an amazing pose at the end of your day. Just a really good pose for just rejuvenating your system and restoring the body. So Sin, just move your blanket, your belt down your legs a little bit for me, Sin. So it's more on your thighs. And then just finding that sense of the back of your shoulders, the upper back melting to the floor. So we're going to be here for a good few minutes. Just a sense with the blanket over your head and around your ears just gives you this sensory withdrawal, which is the fourth of Patanjali's 8 limbs in yoga, Pratyahara. And just starting to sense now the top of your feet, the top of your toes, almost imagining those like the top of a mountain. And the lymphatic system in your legs, the circulatory system in your legs, almost like the rivers running down the mountain. And just a sense of that just draining down, that cool sense of the waters running down the legs, down the mountain, towards the pit of your belly. And then they just drain out through the body towards the earth. You can sense the energy of your day just being taken by the earth. Just really allowing the back body to drop. Often we're braced for action in our day, braced for doing. So now we're really moving into that state of being. Just really feeling this whole body of yours supported now. Having a sense of the container of you, your skin, slack. That more physical sense of you, your bones, your muscles softening. And the organ body, the liver, the lungs, the kidneys, the spleen, the stomach, reproductive system, just softening into your mid-body, floating in that fluid. fluid body, your circulatory system, your lymphatics, cerebral fluid, spinal fluid, all just easy, fluid. Just having a sense now of that body being able to do that deeper work. As you've become still, body is able to just get on with its deeper work. Just a few more breaths here. And then exhaling, just slowly bend the legs down. Slowly moving out. Just very gently sliding the blanket off your face, bending your knees, removing your belt, and rolling to the one side. Just take a pause there for a moment. And let yourself just come from there after a pause on your side up to find your seat. And just take your seat on your bolster, perhaps with your legs crossed. And just find your comfortable seat and just close your eyes. So just let the body just reorientate itself after having been laid down. And just take a moment there. So just finding a seat that's comfortable for you, just for a few minutes. And come to take your belt, if you've got it nearby. If you haven't got a belt, don't worry. But if you have, just have the belt and just hold it in your hands around the sort of bra strap height. So it's not really high up and it's not down in the lower back. And just hold your hands at right angles, your arms at right angles. So you have a sense of that back space of your lungs and your arms just held easy. And from here, just close your eyes. Just start to breathe and notice the breath where it is in that back of your body. So you're not pulling tight on this belt. It's just there as a little bit of sensory feedback for your breathing. And just let the breath come and go. So your mind is just the observer of the breath. And it can feel quite difficult. The mind will try to loop off and loop back into your day, jump forward into tomorrow, but just keep bringing it back to this sense of sensation, the belt and your back lungs. And just sense the breath in that space. Just 3 more breaths there. Maybe it doesn't feel quite equal. Maybe one lung inflates a bit more than the other. That's normal, it's okay, just notice. And then just gently cross the belt in front of you. So one hand holds the opposite belt, the other. And just gently start to breathe again, no force. And notice where you feel the breath now. So starting to sense the breath maybe more into the sides of your ribs. And again, the arms are just soft, no tension in your shoulders. But maybe on the inhale, you get this sense of this really wide expansion into the ribs. Just a few more breaths there, just with your mind in that space. Sensation of the breath in the side of your body. Maybe another big exhale from your mouth. And then let the belt go and take the hand, one hand to the breastbone, the heart space, and let the other hand rest on top. And just start to sense how that space moves. So maybe you get a sense of that space lifting a little as you inhale, softening in as you exhale. And this space of the heart, the arms that we've met a bit more tonight. Just feeling really from the back of the heart, out through the arms towards your hands, back to the front of the heart, that space of you. This abundant space. And maybe just bringing someone to mind that you have had in your day today, just somebody that comes to mind that you hold a little bit of love for, gratitude for. Don't overthink it, just the first face that turns up in your mind. And just picture that person, their features. Just feel that sense of gratitude or love towards that person. Just have a sense of that just growing bigger, almost like a glow in your heart, that sense of gratitude, that sense of love. And then can you picture yourself there? And can you feel that for yourself? Often the harder part of that exercise. And then just let your hands come together at your heart space. And just take a moment just to thank yourself for meeting your mat this evening. And just bowing to yourself. And then you can come to lie down and meet your own Shavasana as you like. Just resting down into Shavasana. And just allow your body to just soften back. If you need to finish the practice here, you can finish. Otherwise, just let yourself lie down into Shavasana. And just allow yourself to just meet the earth and rest. And just let go, let yourself go into the back of the body, into the earth. Stay here with you, or just go quiet. Just allowing you to just absorb the practice. And then you're welcome to stay there as long as you want to. Just feeling the benefits of the practice absorb through body and mind. If you need to think to move into your evening, you might want to start to just gently move your body. There's no rush. can't leave you to stay there if you're staying there. Otherwise, just move slowly from your practice. And I wish you a wonderful week. And maybe I'll see you again next week. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen.
Bye, Claire.
Bye.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye
And
soon.
you. Bye.
Bye.